Namaste. Welcome to this practice around the lunar eclipse. And although lunar eclipses, when the moon goes dark, aren't as dramatic as solar eclipses, it's more the energy that goes with these astrological occurrences that we are going to take into our practice today. So eclipses can only happen where the sun and the moon and the earth are lined up, all lined up together. And if the moon is between the earth and the sun, we get the solar eclipse where the sun is blocked out for a little bit. But this way round, we've got the earth is between the sun and the moon. So whereas the moon would normally light up this luminous silver color, as the earth is in front of the sun's rays, the moon is going to go darker. And for us, it's going to happen about 7 a.m. in the morning. So it's not going to be that dramatic a visual spectacle, but eclipses are deeply transformational times. Okay, they can signify real shift and change in our life. And the moon is responsible spiritually for our moods. So if you think about them as emotional tides, like the moon influences water on earth, the tides of the oceans, it has an effect on our body because we are made up of mainly water. So it does have an effect on us. And it's said to have this emotional effect as well. So we are looking for this combination of energy that comes with any full moon, and eclipses can only happen with a full moon. This building of energy, and then as the full moon is passing and then starts to wane, then we get this releasing of energy. So if something is building up and there's something you want to let go of in your life, this practice should really help you release into that. So we're going to do a salutation to the sun and a salutation to the moon. And we're going to put an earth salutation in the middle of it. So we're representing the pattern of the astrological bodies in our practice today. Let's start coming to standing. Okay, so come up to Tadasana, our standing posture. Allow the eyes to close or a soft focus down at the ground. And come inwards, come into your body and focus on the breath. Feel the breath filling the lungs on the inhale. Allow the belly to swell, the rib cage to lift out to the side and the chest to rise. And then on the exhale, let the shoulders release and relax away from the ears. Let the belly, the torso release down. And on the end of the exhale, draw the tummy in towards the spine to fully empty. So inhaling and exhaling. And if you want to bring the Ujjayi breath in during this whole practice, you can. So the Ujjayi breath is when you have that slight narrowing of the throat, which slows the breathing down. And it feels like a kind of a whisper on the back of the throat as you breathe in. If you do it with an open mouth, it would be an ah sound as you breathe in, and a ha sound, a whispered ha as you breathe out. And you feel this cool air hitting the back of your throat. Some people imagine they're breathing in through the front of their throat in order to get that feeling. And Ujjayi means victorious because we're taking control, we're conquering the breath. It's also often called the ocean breath because it sounds like waves on a beach. So if that helps you, bring that into your practice today. Otherwise, some nice, deep, slow breaths. And then we're going to bring that into movement, bringing the hands in front of the heart. Come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. And let's inhale, take the arms out to the side and up above. Exhale, bring them down the center to the heart. Little bend in the knee, and then inhale, straightening the legs, reaching up, looking up if you want to. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Nice, deep, slow breaths. One more time. Next time you breathe in, taking the arms out to the side and up, we're going to fold forward. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, let the hands come down through the center to the floor. And we'll ease our way through a couple of rounds of sun salutation. The first round is going to be a few breaths in each posture. It's going to be a gentle option. And then the second round, I'll offer some stronger poses. We'll flow through it faster. So take a big stride back on your right foot into a runner's lunge type posture. And you can drop down onto the back knee here if you prefer. Lift the heart forward, push through that back heel and extend through the crown of the head as you inhale. Exhale, soften the hips down, release into this lunge a little more. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart forward. As you exhale this time, press into the hands and step back either to downward facing dog or to kneeling, and walk the legs out. So pushing one heel towards the earth, then the other, getting some space down the back of the legs. Good. And then everyone dropping down onto their knees. Lift the heart, lift the head for cow pose. So we want this curve in the back. Exhale, release that, flat back. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the head. And then slowly round the back. As you breathe out, take the hips back to child pose. And we're going to rest there for 2 breaths. Letting the back widen and soften. The forehead might come to the floor. It might not come down that far. The hips might go back to the heels. Otherwise, they're traveling in that direction. And then reaching your hands forward, press into the palms. I want you to rise up and drop the hips forward and down. To come into cobra, you can keep the elbows bent. So a lot of the body can be on the floor. You don't have to be really high up. I'm going to take 2 breaths here. Keep the elbows tucked in. On the inhale, lifting the heart forward. The gaze lifts forward. On the exhale, let the hips relax, the thighs relax, come down a little bit. And again, inhale, lifting, opening the heart. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. And this time, bending the knees, pressing into the knees. You can stay on all fours or tuck the toes and lift all the way back to downward facing dog. Again, 2 breaths, whether you're kneeling or if you've gone into downward facing dog. I'm going to think about coming forward. Okay, this is the tricky bit where we stride forward. I'm going to bend both knees, get a little spring in the step, look forward between your hands. And then as best you can, the right foot is going to come between the hands. So you need to push off with that left foot to get a little bit of momentum. If it didn't get there, drop the back knee, lift, shuffle the foot forward. You can keep that back knee dropped or lift it up again. 2 breaths here in your lunge. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, softening down. Drop those hips. 1 more breath here. Inhale. And then on the exhale, step the back foot forward, hip width apart with the feet, and you're in a forward fold. Let's take a breath, bending the knees, maybe lifting the hands onto the shins, get some length in the spine. And then exhale, bow down, deep bow into your forward fold. Ready to come up now. Press into the feet, root down. Inhale, inflate the lungs to rise up. Take the hands out to the side and up, and then bring them down the center, back to the heart space, and take a recovery breath here. So we're going to do the same postures, but we're going to go a little quicker on the other side. And then I'll give you some stronger options if you want, or you keep the middle bit of the sun salutation exactly the same. So on the inhale, let's reach the arms out and up. On the exhale, fold down through the center. Let the hands come to the floor. This time it will be the left foot stepping back into a nice deep lunge. You can keep the knee up or drop it down. And then pressing into the hands, we're going to take the right foot back into downward facing dog. Exhaling there. Inhale, come to kneeling. Lift the heart, lift the head. And exhale, round the back, draw the hips back to child pose. Think about coming through to cobra, so pressing into the palms. Let the hips drop forward, the heart lift. Nice big breaths here. Let the tummy be engaged so that the lower spine can be soft. And then taking the weight on the knees or tucking the toes under. If you're going to travel back to down dog, come back on an exhale. So you might be working from tabletop kneeling, or you're in down dog. You're going to bend the knees, get a little spring in those feet, pushing off this time with the right foot. The left foot is going to travel forward. Coming between the hands, shift, adjust it to get it there. Get those hips dropped. And then push off with the back foot. Come into your forward fold. Feet hip width apart, press down, feel grounded as you rise up on an inhale. And hands come down to the heart on the exhale. Okay, so you can keep the same postures. We're going to go a little faster now for another go each side. So another round of our sun salutation. And you can do down dog to kneeling to child to cobra. Or you can do down dog to plank, lowering down to the floor to cobra. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, but you're welcome to keep those first options if you prefer. Nice big inhale as we sweep the arms up and fold down, exhaling. Right foot steps back into a lunge. Inhale. Exhale back into downward facing dog on the exhale. Either coming to your knees or floating forward to plank pose, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale. And then dropping knees, chest, chin to the floor, exhaling, or you're going back to child pose. Everybody comes together in cobra. It's an inhale where the heart lifts, toes stretch back. And then either coming back to kneeling or tucking the toes and carrying on to downward facing dog on the exhale. Inhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. Exhale, left foot joins it and you're in a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow down nice and deeply. Then press down, inhale, rise up all the way, lifting the hands, and exhale, hands come to the heart. Ready for the second side. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding down. Left foot back into your lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog or coming to kneeling. Inhale, float forward to plank or it's cow pose on your knees, lifting the head, lifting the heart. Exhale down, either into child or down onto your belly. Everybody inhale into cobra. Exhale, come back to kneeling or downward facing dog. And the left foot now stepping forward. Exhale, right foot joins it. Root down, rise up. Lifting the hands and exhale. Hands come in front of the heart. Release the hands this time into Tadasana, our mountain pose. And come inwards, again, closing the eyes or soft gaze down at the floor and notice your energy. Notice any differences to when we started the practice. Notice the heartbeat, the breath. Can you bring the breath back to a smooth, slow breath, watching it settle? Can you feel any energy whizzing around inside you? Perhaps you're aware of the prana, that life force. It might be tingly, it might feel like you're really alive, you might feel taller than you did before. Just observing any sensations in the body, in the mind. Good stuff. And then we're going to come into a lovely soothing earth salute. So this is a Drew yoga sequence and is more, I think, like a Tai Chi kind of slow movements. So again, we can be at the front of our mat with the feet hip width apart. And we're going to bring the palms in front of the pelvis, the palms facing up. Interlace the fingers lightly. And on an inhale, bend the knees. We're going to draw energy up from the pelvis, right up in front of the forehead. Turn the palms down. And as we exhale, bend the knees again, like you're pushing down a coffee plunger. Let there be some resistance. Good, in the air. On the inhale, take the palms out in front of you. As you straighten the legs on the inhale, reach the hands up above, and then let the fingers separate as you exhale. Draw a lovely big circle around until the fingers come back and meet at the pelvis. You can change the interlace of the fingers if you want, or do the same way round. So inhale, lifting the energy up nice and slowly and smoothly. Exhale, pressing it down, bending the knees. Inhale, taking the palms out and up as you straighten the legs again. And exhale, lovely big circles. So if you want to use that Ujjayi breath or otherwise nice smooth breaths, that's great. You do this with your own breath length. Let the breath lead the movement. So inhaling up, exhaling down, thinking grounding the energy down. And taking it out in front of us. Releasing the fingers and letting the arms come down by the sides. Good. Rest there for one breath, letting the arms be at your sides in mountain pose. And then we're going to take that to one side and then to the other. So first of all, I want you to take your left foot a little out at an angle. So you're stepping forward slightly on that foot. And turning towards that left leg. So again, joining the hands in front of the pelvis. Going to repeat these movements. So inhale, draw energy up. Exhale, bend the front knee as you plunge those hands down in front of you. And then on the inhale, lean out over the knee. Reach as far forwards as you can as you lift the hands up. Straightening the leg, and then exhale, releasing the hands, coming back to our starting point. Twice more. You do this in your own breath length, so it doesn't matter if you want to take a little longer or travel a little quicker. Plunging down, bending the knee, and then leaning out over that knee as we inhale. Lifting up, straightening the knee again. And exhale slowly round. One more time. And then come back to Tadasana, our mountain pose, and we'll all meet there in the middle again. Try not to rush. It's hard when we're given our own time to do something. Try and let it stay relaxed and smooth. And a couple of recovery breaths in the middle. And let the class come together. And then we can turn the right toes out to the side and take a little step forward on that side, allowing the hips and the torso to turn to the right. Linking the fingers. Here we go on this side. Inhale, draw that energy up past the heart space. And then turn the palms around, push down, bend the knee. Leaning out over that knee now as you inhale. Taking the hands up, the arms up, straighten the leg. And exhale, releasing the hands nice and slowly. Let it take the whole of the exhale to get them back to the hips. Off you go 2 more times. Slow and controlled. Let the breath be your anchor. Inviting you not to rush. And again, once you've completed, coming back into the center, facing forward on your mat. One more time, we'll do it facing the front. Really think about the grounding energy of the earth. So when we think about earth practices, we're thinking about our connection, what gravity lets us do, dropping into the energy and then drawing it back up from the earth. Those qualities of stability, strength, stillness. So that's why we move slowly, heaviness. Okay, so bring the hands in front of the pelvis, 3 more cycles. Little softness in the knees. Inhale, draw it up the front of the body, inhaling. And then press it down, bending the knees. Inhale, take the palms out in front of you. Exhale, stretching out the fingers as far as you can as the hands come round and down. Twice more. Inhale, sipping it all up, filling your cup. Exhale, pushing down, feeling that connection of the feet with the earth. Inhale, lifting out and up like a round belly, making that movement. And then exhale, releasing, letting everything go. One last time. Inhale, drawing it up. Exhale, pushing it down. Inhale, coming forwards, reaching up to the skies and letting that final release. Nice big circle. The hands come down by your sides. Turn the palms forward again into Tadasana, our mountain pose. And let this be an energized posture today. So feet are parallel, but imagine pushing into the ground, taking the feet slightly away from each other. That's really going to engage the muscles in the legs. Tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly in and up, roll the shoulders back and down. Chin is level with the floor, crown of the head reaches up tall. So feel this connection between the earth and the skies. So you're reaching up into the heavens. thinking about these celestial bodies that we're bringing into the practice today, the sun and the earth, when it all comes into line, into balance. And we're going to take tree pose to represent that balance today. And again, make your own shapes in this. I'm going to talk you through some options. I'm going to start by balancing on our left foot, and if you want to have back of the chair or a wall nearby to reach your left hand out to, absolutely fine. And we can start by bringing our right heel near to the left ankle, or even balancing it on the left foot, turning that knee out to the side. Your choice whether you keep your hands reaching down to the floor or bring the hands in front of the heart. Try not to lock that standing leg, so little tiny bend behind the knee. Pick a focal point in front of you, something that's not moving. And when you're ready, if you want to, lift the foot onto the calf or right up into the thigh, but not on the knee. So if it doesn't want to stay up on the thigh, bring it down to the calf and breathe. Letting the breath be smooth and long. Can you relax the jaw a little and the shoulders? Feel that everything's in line. So head, shoulders, hips. Maybe the foot presses into the leg and the leg presses into the foot, and your palms press together, giving that extra engagement of energy, of focus. If you want to, for the last couple of breaths, you might want to lift your hands to the heavens, and slowly, when you're ready, bring the hands down and let the foot find the floor again. Pause in the middle, just noticing the difference between one leg and the other one, and then slowly shifting your weight into the right foot. Bringing the left foot nearby to start with. Find your balance, let the right leg get used to taking that weight, root down the foot into the floor. Decide where your hands are going to start. You can always change the position. And then as and when you're ready, when you've got your gaze, when you've got your balance and your focus, then you can lift the foot onto the leg. And think of that opposing energy coming together, lifting you up without locking the body. Really strong lower body. Can you keep the shoulders relaxed, the jaw soft, a little smile perhaps on the lips, as everything is in line in this steady posture. And don't worry, balances are what this is all about, so they come into it. We're working out what we need to do to keep our balance. Let the breath help you. So always come back to the breath in the center line, up and down the spine. If you want to, lifting the hands up to the skies. And when you're ready, dismounting with dignity, lovely, bringing the hands down, the foot down, and enjoying feeling balanced in your own body now. So both feet press down into the floor, little bend behind the knees, so the legs equally sharing the weight, rolling the shoulders back and down. Lovely. And for our final salutation, we are representing the lunar energy. So the sun salutation, the solar energy is strong, masculine, dynamic. So it represents faster movements, heat, and the lunar movements should be softer, more feminine, The moon, it represents a cooler energy, a more gentle, slower moving energy. So I still think this practice is quite challenging, but try and go easier, be kinder on yourself as we go through it. And we're going to go through it slowly to try and keep the energy soft, regulating the breath. If the breath gets ragged, then we're pushing a little bit too hard. And the moon salutation, we work across the mat rather than from front to back. We work across the side. So you might want to turn your mat round or adjust your monitor so that you're looking at the side now, that you can still see what's happening. And you want to start on the left side of your mat with a block, if you think a block might be handy. So a block or 2 blocks within grabbing distance might be a good plan. And then starting from Tadasana, feet hip width apart, feeling nice and balanced here. I'm going to bring our hands to the heart, take an inhale, exhale. On the inhale, reach your arms out to the side and up, let the palms come together. On the exhale, take a side bend to the center of your mat. Inhale, upright. Exhale, take a side bend to the edge of your mat. Inhale, upright. Take a big stride, open the hands up to form a star shape. Turn your toes out to the corner of the mat. Inhale here, reaching your hands up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees to come into a kind of goddess pose, holding the moon. So imagine you're holding the moon in your arms and feel that feminine power, some softness with it. Tuck the tailbone under to keep the lumbar spine relaxed. Draw in the belly, drop the hips down a little further. Super. We're going to transition to triangle pose now. So inhale, stretch the arms out, turn your left foot to the edge, narrow edge of your mat, and adjust the back foot so that it's at a little angle in your warrior stance. On an exhale, reach the front hand forward as far as you can, dipping the hips, and then let it float down either to rest on your shin or find your block. So the hand can rest on your block. And that top hand can stay on your hip, or you can lift the top hand up into the sky. And your triangle pose, you can look down at the floor to be grounded. You can look sideways or up at that top thumb, reaching up to the skies. Soften the knee, soften the elbow on the exhale, and then re-find your extension, rediscover your triangle pose on the inhale. Beautiful. On an exhale, I want you to turn towards the front foot, so your left foot, and bring your hands either down onto blocks if you've got them, or down to the floor. Turn the back toes towards the front, so all 10 toes are turning towards the front, and hop in the back leg. So you're setting yourself up for a pose called pyramid pose here. And again, I want this to be gentle and soft. It can be a really strong posture. Make it work for you. On the inhale, bend the front knee and lift the heart a little bit. On the exhale, take the hips back and bow down over that front leg. So feeling an opening in the back of the leg. It can be quite intense. Inhale, release the knee forward. One more time. Going to take the hips back, especially that left hip. Try and keep the hips square and bow down. Good. And then bend the front knee. Drop the back knee to the floor. Ready to rise up in Anjani Asana, our crescent lunge. Place the block in the middle of your mat. We'll need that in a minute. So you can rise in stages. You can bring the hands to the thigh in front of the heart and stay there. Or you can lift the hands up, again, reaching the fingertips to the skies. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, if it feels good, dipping the hips. Watch that lumbar spine. Keep the tummy drawn in, the tailbone long. Inhale. On your next exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. And tuck the back toes. Slowly start walking yourself round to the long edge of your mat. So this time we want the feet parallel to each other. They're not going to be pointing out to the corners of the mat. And you're in a wide-legged forward fold. You might want to use your block here. And we're going to bow down to the earth. So the inhale, lift the heart. The exhale, bow down. Hips go up, head goes down. Super. And then we're going to take a half squat. So come halfway up again. Half squat or God of War pose, if any of you know that and are familiar with that. I'm going to bend this left knee and squat to the side. You might want to use your block and stay quite upright. You might want to drop the hips down, bring the hands to the floor and let that right toe, let the right toes lift up so the foot is pointing to the ceiling. Okay, no problem if you want to stay up here. Otherwise, take 2 breaths here. Fingertips on the floor, or you might even risk taking the hands into Anjali Mudra. Well done. And then we're going to move slowly across the opposite side. So keep it low. Again, you can use your block. You can stay in a squat up higher, or allowing the feet to slowly rotate. The left toes now are pointing up to the sky. We're breathing here. If you're going to lift the hands off the floor, then you want to energetically draw everything into the midline. And bring the hands to the heart. And then let's come back to our wide-legged forward fold. And we're going to move to the other side of the mat and do everything in reverse. Take your block with you if you're finding that useful. Start turning your toes. Turn them now all the way to the opposite end, the narrow end of the mat till you're in a runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down onto the floor. We're going to rise up in Anjali Asana. So you can rise up in stages like we did before, or you might lift the arms into the air in one movement. If the shoulders and the arms don't like lifting this high up, bring them to the heart or even to the hips. Nice big breaths, lifting the heart and maybe sinking more into the hips on the exhale to find that crescent shape. Inhale, opening the heart, exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Tuck the back toes under, lift the hips, and we're back in our pyramid shape. Again, hop the back foot in. It needs to be a little closer to that front heel. Otherwise, the posture just doesn't quite work. And you might want to have your hands up on a block or blocks. We're going to bend the front knee, lift the heart. Exhale, take the hips back and straighten that front leg. Really drawing the right hip back. And again, release the front knee, lift the heart a little. Inhale. Exhale slowly with respect. Bow down. Feel into any sensation at the back of the legs. Now here's the tricky bit. We've got to grow back into our triangle pose. I want you to hop the back foot back a little and get it at the angle of a warrior stance. So ideally now your front foot, your front heel is in line with the back arch on the back foot or the back heel of the back foot if that feels more stable. You can use your block to press into with your right hand and bring the left hand to the hip. Spin yourself so that the heart is coming towards the sky. Straighten the front leg and you'll arrive in your triangle pose. Well done. You can lift the top hand to the sky if you want or keep it on the hip. Nice, deep, slow breaths. Inhale, exhale, release and relax the position, and then discover it again on the inhale. Your triangle, pushing into the limbs, drawing the head away from the shoulders. Good. And then letting go of your block, bend the front knee, rise up, arms out to the side, turn the toes to the corners of the mat. We're going to lift the hands up to the sky on an inhale. Exhale, draw everything down, bend the elbows, bend the knees, goddess pose, holding the moon, staying here for a couple of breaths. Feel that lunar power. So feel strong but soft. Can you get those two feelings into this posture? Let the breath guide you. Really nice. On an inhale, we're going to step to the right side of your mat. So feet come together, reach up, palms together. Good. Exhale to the outside of your mat. Side stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, point into the middle of your mat. Good. Come up. And then bring the hands down the center line. Release the palms forward and breathe. And if you want to, closing the eyes or soft gaze down at the floor, come inwards and see how that sequence has left you. Feel the residue of the postures and notice what sensations are here for you now. So perhaps on a physical level, which muscles do you feel you've worked? Perhaps on an energetic level, looking for tingling or fizzing, however you describe the sensation of energy whizzing around. Always looking for the mind as well. Does the mind feel stiller and calmer perhaps after that practice? And the breath. Feel it settling and slowing. Lovely. And then coming back to the front of your mat, bringing the hands together in front of the heart, going to flow down towards the floor. So inhale, reaching the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold, nice and soft, like honey dripping off a spoon. Bend your knees, release the back and the back of the neck, the head. Bring the belly right down onto the thighs. So finding a softness in your forward fold. And we're going to come back to sitting. So if you need to grab a cushion or block on your journey down to the floor, please do. You can take a little toe balance on the way if you want to, coming down to bent knees and testing out your balance by bringing your hands off the floor or keeping the fingertips on the floor. And when you're ready, sitting down and making yourself comfortable. So it doesn't have to be cross-legged, but I want you to find a pose that we can stay in now for a few minutes. So perhaps Sukhasana, our easy pose, where we have the knees relaxed. And in order to get those knees relaxed, you're going to need some height under the hips or something padded up under the knees. And if that doesn't work for you, stretch the legs out in front, or you might try some blocks or a cushion between the knees and sit down with bent knees in kneeling. Find what is going to work for you. And we're going to do some moon breathing. So Chandra, the name of the moon. Some of you will have done alternate nostril breathing with me before. This is like that, but we're only going to breathe in and out of our left nostril. So I'm not going to mirror you for this bit, but I want you to take your right hand, and we've got a mudra to use for this. Your index finger and your middle finger are going to press lightly between the eyebrows, so the point we call the third eye between the eyebrows. That leaves your right thumb free to rest on your one side of your nose, and the ring finger and little finger to rest on the other side of your nose. So pressing lightly with your thumb, you should be able to breathe in and out freely with your left nostril. Your left hand you can take and either have it face up or face down on the left thigh near the knee. Close the eyes if that's okay for you, and let the energy drop down as you breathe in and out deeply and slowly through the left nostril. And what this does is energizing the left nadi, the energy roots, channels in our body are called nadis. And this Pingala nadi on the left side of our body represents the lunar energy. So it's drawing in this softness, this gentleness, this stillness. Drawing in cool breaths into the body. Really good if you want to go to sleep to stimulate this side of your energy body. The elbow and the arm feels uncomfortable, you might want to cup the right elbow with your left hand. And slowly, slowly allow yourself to drop into this breath, inhaling and exhaling through the left nostril. And if for any reason you can't do that, if the nose is blocked or it's uncomfortable to do that, imagine that is what you're doing. Imagine that you're sending the breath in and out of the left side of the nose. And deliberately and slowly count 4 more exhales, trying to let the exhales be longer than the inhales. And when you've completed your final round of breath, let the hand drop away from the face and come into a meditation position, sitting with the palms facing upright, up to the sky. If you want to, join the forefinger and the thumb together. And again, come inwards, check in with your energy. How does that feel after doing a couple of minutes of breathing? And we're going to finish today with a lunar eclipse meditation. So you are welcome to stay seated if you prefer. You can change the position or the cross of your legs if you want to, but wrap yourself up nice and warm, get some extra layers or socks, and if you prefer, gently lie yourself down on the floor, either in Shavasana, our classic corpse pose, or constructive rest, where the feet are flat on the floor, the knees are bent, and rest together. And take a little bit of time to settle the body. Adjust the shoulders, the hips. If If your back is on the floor, find where it's comfortable to be. If you're in seated posture, maybe padding up under the knees for extra support, maybe resting against a wall, as long as that doesn't encourage you to slump against it. Wherever you are, we want a nice, tall, straight spine. So allowing the energy to settle, the muscles to release. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel rooted down into the earth. And let there be a little gap between the teeth. The jaw is soft. The skin on the face relaxed. And let gravity draw you down towards the mat. Feel the mat coming up around you, supporting you. The earth is holding you, so the limbs can be heavy and soft. No need to hold anything in any particular way. Let there be length in the spine, so the crown of the head gently reaches away from the hips effortlessly. And the breath can flow up and down the spine. Taking a couple of deep inhales and exhales. And then releasing any control over the breath. I want you to imagine, if you can, that you are underneath a moonlit sky. Full moon shines above you. Silvery luminosity shining down on you on the earth. The sun's rays reflect on the surface of the moon, so that the moon appears to have its own light shining down. And this silvery light is relaxing and soothing. Breathe in this lunar energy, filling yourself up with the relaxing qualities of the moon. As you breathe out, allow that relaxation to spread through the body, releasing the out breath out and softening. And the full moon is an opportunity to reflect on an aspect of your life that you might want to change, something you might have outgrown or are ready to let go of. Bringing perhaps something to mind as you feel this silvery light shining down on you. Become aware now of a circular shadow starting to move across the moon. As the moon and the earth and the sun begin to align, the earth's shadow comes across the moon, darkening it, taking away the silvery light. You and the earth are now directly between the sun and the moon. Eclipses are harbingers of change. Breathe into the special energy that this celestial event creates in the universe, in the atmosphere, in your body. Breathing in this special phenomenon. Breathing out, allowing something to release, to let go. Inhale, breathing in the wisdom of the moon. Breathing out, letting this wisdom guide you as to what is going to change, what is going to release. So eclipses are like this helping hand of the universe that reaches down and places us in the right position, in the right moment to allow some sort of transformation to happen. So it's a very special time. And if nothing is coming to you now immediately that needs to shift or change, then be aware it might come to you in the next few days, and it might happen over the next few weeks or even months. So the power of an eclipse can last up to 3 months to help this transformation to occur. Breathe in and draw the energy and wisdom of the eclipse into the body. Breathe out and let the lunar power enable you to manifest a change. Be prepared for a release, a letting go of something that is no longer useful to you, doesn't serve you, doesn't nourish you. Be ready for change and opportunity to come your way. And thinking again of the moon up above you, watch as the shadow of the earth now continues its journey across the moon, and the sun's rays begin to gradually reach it once again, and the moon regains its silvery luminosity, again appearing to shine down upon you. Take a couple more deep breaths, inhaling fully into the heart space, exhaling, releasing and letting go. Slowly, slowly letting go of the visualization, beginning to make small movements with your fingers and your toes, bringing energy back into the physical body, perhaps moving your head gently from side to side. And lifting one knee up over the chest, hugging it in, and letting the other knee join it, hugging them both into the belly. Perhaps having a little rock and roll from side to side if that feels nice and soothing to you. And slowly rolling onto one side. Resting on your side with the knees bent until you feel ready to press your hands into the floor. Come back to sitting if you're not already sitting. If you're sitting up, rolling the shoulders. You can choose to keep the eyes closed or let them gently flutter open. Bring the hands in front of the heart. And on an inhale, reach the hands out to the side and up above. On the exhale, drawing the hands down the center, taking a bow to yourself. A bow to the power of the celestial bodies, how they can influence us. And to trust the wisdom of whatever unfolds for you, the natural cycle of the transformation and change which travels with us through our life and draws us to our higher purpose. Namaste.